6888 on Netflix. Let's talk about how that movie had me crying. This is Kendall Anise, your favorite life coach for reviews and news. 855 women in the military joined forces, right, to do a backlog of 3 years of mail. Now, before I even go into it, let me just start there. 3 years, the mail from the military soldiers in World War II, right, were backlogged, meaning nobody was getting their mail. So imagine your loved ones being out there, you're writing them, they're writing you, no response. You don't know if they are here or not. All right, so Tyler Perry's movie 6888 is based on a true story, true events. This is written and directed by Tyler Perry, executive produced by Kerry Washington, who plays Charity Adams. She was a bad girl in all the right reasons. All right, so let's get into it. This Central Postal Battalion was formed in the late 40s. So let's talk about the movie. All right, so Roosevelt and his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, they were friends with Mary McLeod Bethune. Y'all know Bethune-Cookman College, right? And she was friends or friendly with Eleanor Roosevelt. So she was privy to being in the White House with everybody, including President Roosevelt. And they were talking about this mail situation because this woman was on the front lawn of the White House every single day until someone came out, patiently wanting to talk to Eleanor Roosevelt. She began to tell her that she doesn't know if her sons are here or not based on 3 years of waiting for mail and getting unresponsive mail. She sent them, she didn't get anything back. She didn't know what was going on. So then there were stories like that all across the country. So Eleanor Roosevelt dug into it a little bit more, talked to her husband, the president, to figure out what was happening. So they have a large meeting in the White House. Mary McLeod Bethune was there, and they were talking about this. Now, it shows in the movie that Charity Adams, who is played by Kerry Washington, highest ranking woman, black woman, right? And still with the highest rank, one of the highest ranks you could have, they still were treating her like trash because she was a black woman, right? All of these educated black women just sitting there like, okay, I trained them. What do we do? They were just, because they had to let them into the military and the army, they let them in, but they didn't do nothing with them because they thought that black women, we were dumb, we were not intelligent, we were not smart, we were not brilliant, we're not all the things that we know we are, right? So it was the 40s, they were still treating us like that, even in the military, right? So Mary McLeod Bethune says, well, there's a battalion that is capable of fixing this problem. They were like a 3-year mail log. You mean to tell me some black women who can't do nothing is going to solve this problem? Whatever. So what they did was, because the general, Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt, they knew that we could do it, right? They were allies in a sense. But the general was not liking black people, period, let alone black women. You know what a word is for that, right? So he was like, okay, we'll give it to him. 3-year black backlog. You know, they didn't tell him that. They just said, hey, postal, okay, give it to him. Even though he knew what the real situation was, and it was ridiculously, they didn't know it was a 3-year backlog or anything like that, right? So long story short, in this review, what they did was give it to them. So Charity Adams is like, we waited all this time for assignments. You're going to send us to Europe for some mail? Like, what are you talking about? But oh, baby, I don't even know where to go in this. Let me just say, I was watching this on an airplane coming back from Miami, seeing Usher's show, right? So closed caption. I downloaded the movie to my iPad and watched it. I didn't have any distractions. I didn't have my phone. You know, sometimes we'll be watching a movie on the phone and then we're on the phone looking and we're doing other things. It had my full attention. And I'm so glad that I was able to watch this movie with my full attention. And I was snotting crying on the plane, right? That's how good the movie was. You know, Tyler Perry gets a bad rap. They can tell, oh, look at the wigs, look at the this. Honey, oh, the wigs, the wardrobe, top notch, A1. So y'all, you know, everybody talks about the honey. Tyler Perry did his big one on this. This is amazing, telling this story, and it was based off of a book that was told about this, and then of course accounts for people who are still alive, including Lena, who we're going to talk about. She was the main character. All right. So anyway, you know, Charity Adams, Kerry Washington is upset. Like, y'all gonna give us, we've been waiting all this time. These are kind of orders y'all gonna give us to go to Europe to do this menial task. She's saying that, meaning that she knew the capability of these Black women. They could do a lot more. They were intelligent, bachelor's, master's degrees, you know, having been mathematicians and all of these amazing things. Like, you're just gonna give us mail. So they flew the top ranking women over in the plane, but they, all the other hundreds of Black women, they put them on a boat with no military escort, no seatbelts. They sliding around almost like a slave ship, sliding around, giving them trash accommodations because they're sending them over there and we're less than a human. They don't care nothing about us. They just sent them over. But like we do, Maya Angelou said, we rise. They still made it over, still looking beautiful and everything. So they get there and the place is a mess. They're in barracks that are really not barracks. They're at bases that are really not military bases. So like Black women do, we turn nothing out of into something. So they created out of trash, because they gave them just trash. Here's a, just imagine abandoned room, stinky, smelly, roaches, rat, everything, all of this thing, and you do it. Well, they got all of those 655 women together, excuse me, 855 women together, and they made that house a home. They hooked it up. They even had a beauty parlor in there, because I love the fact that they had these women in these uniforms. They're in the military, but they were still getting their hair done. They still had to have, they had minimal makeup on. They were still looking good. They were marching in boots, not military boots, almost like fashion boots. They looked fly, and they were doing that. In the movie, Debbie Allen choreographed the Debbie Allen choreographed the march. It was just how they, you know, march in the military. Anyway, so what else? Oh, so they turned that thing into something, only to get there to realize there were like the big tin, I can't think of what it's called, containers, like that you put, like you can put an airplane in them. Just think about something big like that, of mail, bags and bags and bags and bags and bags of mail. And because they wanted to see the Black women fail, they said, we're going to give you 3 months to get this done. Charity Adams was like, listen, no problem, we got this. Lieutenant Colonel said, we got it, and then realized how much it was and was stumped. But they made so many different systems. They put these created systems in place so people can get their mail. And then the commander was coming, just being nasty, rude. People were coming in, checking up on them, wanting to see them fail, just nasty, you know, oh, treating us like we ain't nothing. Y'all can only imagine. I don't want to give it away. Treating us like we ain't nothing. But like Amaya said, we rose and still we rise. Got it done. People started getting their mail. It was just amazing. The sisterhood, the support, the love, having each other's back. I mean, it was a time I was thinking, like, look at these women. I'm going to make a part two. This is part one of 6888. Come on over to part two, concluding this reviews and news. There's so much information to give you, but I don't want to give it away. All right, part two, 6888, Kendall Lanise for reviews and news. All right, so it just made me so proud to be a Black woman, and how we were able in this movie and in real life to really solve the problem, using our brains, using our wit, using our wisdom, using our education to be able to say, let's come together, let's figure it out. Certain women were figuring things out. Hey, this will be more efficient. We can do it this way. We can, I mean, it was just phenomenal to see these women against all odds doing it when somebody thought you could not do it. And this is one of the biggest battalions in the U.S. Army in the 40s during the war. Think about how important communication is in mail, right? Because you need to feel your loved ones. It's not like going on social media, you got their location, with your phone. You're able to call, FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom. You can't do none of that. You just have no idea what's going on with your loved one. And the only communication is writing letters. So let me start from the beginning. Lena was the main character. Lena Darracott, I believe the last name was. Played by Ebony Obsidian. I think that's how you pronounce it. Y'all know her as Karen on Zatima and Sisters, right? The one that owns the hair salon. She did an amazing job. So basically, I would want to say she's the main character between her and Charity Adams, but Lena, it starts with her. And it was a Jewish guy that when she was 17 and she knew him since she was little, he liked her. He was sweet on her. They liked each other. During that time, you couldn't do that. The white girls were not having it. They're eligible young man, and how dare he like this black girl who is a maid and all of these things with her mom. And they really had a sweet, loving friendship relationship. And he said he was going off to the war and he was going to make it official when he came back, and he loved her, and they were giggly and the young love and the sweetness. And he goes over to the military, and as soon as he gets there, he goes into war and he passes. So she gets the message and she's devastated. She cannot get herself together. Her first love, her friend, gone just like that. So she's due to go to college, and she's like, we don't have money for college anyway. I'm going to the army. And they like, you going to the army? But she was going to the army to get closure, to say, I know that he wrote a letter. I know that he, was looking for me. I know that he had something to say. It's just no closure. And look at God. She ends up going into the military, and they put her on the postal assignment. So I don't want to give some things away if you haven't seen it. But it's just, and then she meets a guy over there named Hugh, and he almost helps her heal and understands. I'm sweet. He knew that he wanted to be with that woman as soon as the first time he saw her, but she was still hurting and grieving and trying to figure it out. He called up a wedding for her. Like, he's like, I can't even marry her because you're the one. Long story short, and I just saw something, the real lady, Lena, she said she did marry Hugh. So to see these people still alive, some of them, I know Big Sean, the rapper, said his grandmother was in this battalion. So this movie, I'm going to watch it again, and I'm just telling you stuff by memory and trying to leave things out. So, you're not completely spoiled in the movie. I want you to still watch the movie and get some things out of it. But it was just phenomenal. And if you're a Black woman watching this, it's going to make you so proud. But you don't have to be a Black woman, obviously, to appreciate the story. You could be any color, any nationality, male, female, otherwise. You're going to be inspired by this. If you're inspired by stories where first true accounts, right? But also underdogs, when they try to knock somebody down, but they still rise. When they try to say you can't do something, but you still do it. When they count you out, but you still get up, right? It's just one of those things that makes you want to scream, holler, yell, be happy about what you're seeing. It's going to make you cry. It's going to be some parts that's going to piss you off. You're going to be mad about some things, but it's a beautiful, beautifully filmed film. Like Tyler Perry didn't cut corners. Everything was top tier. Everything from the wigs to the uniforms to the locations, everything. It was an amazing movie. So if you have not seen it on Netflix, definitely see it. It came out December 6th. It's on Netflix and it's at some theaters across the country. Very limited release. This is a great movie. Get your tissue because you will be shedding a tear or two. It is an amazing movie, amazing film, and hopefully it'll inspire you to check out the real story, and some of the ladies that were in it and talk to people. You might know somebody in your family or otherwise that has made history in this way and it was a part of this. So it was amazing and I highly recommend it. And tell a friend. 10 out of 10, we'll see it again. 10 out of 10, we'll tell a friend. Definitely check it out. 6888 on Netflix, written by Tyler Perry, directed by Tyler Perry. One of the executive producers is Kerry Washington. Until next time, God bless y'all. Peace. This is Reviews and News. Get in.